let's plan a Disney trip. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jen and I'm so glad you're here today because we are going to be planning another Disney trip. That's right, I'm going back to Walt Disney World. I have been waiting so long to announce this or tell you guys about it, and I was like humming and hawing and didn't know like exactly how to do it, but here we are. I'm going back to Disney. I'm also giving my new microphone a try, so I'm hoping that the sound is good for you guys. Let me know how you're liking it and if it's okay. Hopefully it's okay throughout this video. I'll try not to like touch it too much, but we'll see how it goes. So please bear with me if the sound is kind of like a little all over the place at first. So today I thought I would share all the information about the trip, when I'm going, where I'm staying, who I'm going with, everything like that. And I'll also be giving you a sneak peek of the itinerary and kind of how I put my trips together. I get so excited to make these videos because it means that my trip is coming up. As of recording this video, we are less than 30 days before we leave, and I am just so excited. Also, if you're new, subscribe. I make lots of Disney content, lots of Disney trips. I like going to Disney a lot, and I also do some lifestyle content and other tips and tricks sort of videos. So if you're into that, make sure you subscribe. This trip has been in the works for a while. We did book it back in September and we took advantage of the Canadian resident discount that's been going on. So we got a pretty decent price, which is great. So before I dive into all the trip plans and everything like that and showing you how I've kind of put everything together, let's talk about a little bit about the trip. So basically it is going to be me and my mom going this time, just me and her. It's going to be a fun mother-daughter trip and I'm so excited because I haven't gone to Disney with my mom in well over 10 years, maybe 15 years. It's been a very long time, so we are well overdue. Also, my mom hasn't been there since April 2022, so she is also well overdue for a trip. So I'm actually really excited for her because so much has changed and there's a lot of stuff that she hasn't been able to experience yet, and she didn't get to experience when she went because that was like right at the end of the pandemic and it was like everyone was going on revenge travel, and so the parks were just crazy busy and she barely got to go on anything. So we're going to be staying for 7 nights, a whole week, and we're staying at Port Orleans Riverside. I am so excited to go back to this resort, you guys, and I'm so excited to be staying there for a week. I did stay there back in May of 2024 last year for a couple of nights when I went with Alex, and we just loved the resort. I've stayed there a few times now, and I think it's got to be like my favorite moderate resort. It's such a laid back and pretty resort. I just love how it's laid out, and you have the horse-drawn carriages going around, and there's just so much to do there, and I love the boats to Disney Springs and everything. It's just so laid back, and it's probably my mom's favorite resort too, so she's very excited to be going back there as well. I've already put together the day-by-day itinerary, and the only thing really left to do right now is to book our multi-pass, which we can do 7 days out since we're staying at a Disney resort. I have not had the opportunity to use the multi-pass system yet on the app. I've used Genie Plus, but not the new multi-pass. So I'm very much looking forward to trying this out and seeing how it works and how user-friendly it is. Let me tell you, I have watched so many how-to videos so far just to make sure that I'm successful in using this and we get our money's worth. I've already composed a list of rides or must-dos that I really want to make sure that we get on, especially for my mom. So when I do book the multi-pass, I'm ready to go and know exactly what we want. I won't have them in the itinerary yet because obviously I don't know what times they're going to be at, so fingers crossed that we get what we want. But then once I've booked all the multi-pass, I will plop them into my itinerary. Once we had booked our resort and we got our tickets all sorted, then we started looking at flights. Usually what I do when we are booking flights is I typically look at the flight times first and also the dates and that sort of thing, and then just book at a time when I see a price that I think is reasonable. We're going to be flying out of Toronto, so this time we decided to go with Air Canada. They had really good flight times, and because my mom was looking for that, that's what we decided to book with. So we don't have like a crazy super early morning flight on our first day, which is great. And then when we fly home, we don't have a super late or a super early flight. So this will be a big change for me. I'm used to getting up at like 3, 4 a.m. and getting to the airport all bleary teary-eyed and so tired, but I do like getting to Orlando earlier in the day. So we will be arriving a little bit later, which is totally fine. It's just going to be a little bit more easing into it, and maybe we won't be as tired once we get there, which will be great. And then coming home, it won't be such a late arrival. Like before, I think when I came back from my Disney cruise, I didn't get home until like midnight, I think it was. So that was kind of hard. So it'll be nice to have that change this time. For every trip that I have planned, I do put together basically a spreadsheet on Excel of a day-by-day itinerary. It also has our budget on there, where we want to eat, our dining reservations, and everything like that. I'll put it up on the screen of an example from one of my past trips, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. I can't fully take credit for this template. It's something that I found online. If I can find the link for it for the original owner of this itinerary spreadsheet, I'll definitely link it down below. But basically, I found this sort of template, and then I kind of just rejigged it and laid it out in a way that made more sense to me. So it works for me, and it's easy and it's straightforward. So I thought I will show you the itinerary that I've put together for this trip. So the first day, travel day. I love a good travel day, and I am so excited for this. It's just like the epitome of excitement because you're right at the beginning of the trip. You have your whole trip ahead of you, and yes, I'm just so excited. So the plan is my mom is actually going to come and stay here the night before, because she actually lives a little bit, she's about an hour away from where I live, so it just makes sense for her to come here, and I am located much closer to the airport than she is, so it just made sense to do that. So on the travel day, we have a mid-afternoon flight around lunchtime, and that will get us into Orlando at around 3. Fingers crossed that there's no weather delays or anything. We've been getting so much snow here. Oh my gosh, it's just unreal this winter how bad it has been for the snow. So I'm just really hoping that the snow stays away for the day that we're leaving, and that would be great. I'm probably going to ask Alex, my husband, to drop us off at the airport if he can. If not, we'll just take the bus to the airport. It's super easy to get there as well. And then once we're at the airport, we'll get our bag sorted. I am going to check a bag this time because my mom and I are going to share one. We also want to make sure that we have enough room for souvenirs to bring home, because on my last couple trips, I don't think I have brought a checked bag. I'm just trying to remember actually. No, back in May in last year, we did bring a check bag, so that was great. But on my last trip when I went solo and when I was on the cruise, I was only using a carry-on, and I really struggled bringing stuff back, and I just don't want to have that problem anymore. So my mom and I are just going to split the cost of checking a bag. We can split it as well for putting our stuff in there, and then we can bring home more things, which I'm excited about. I've booked us the Mears bus for the arrival, or originally the Magical Express as I wish it was still called, but we are going to be taking a Mears bus again to the resort. I've always had good experiences with the Mears bus, and while we could take an Uber as well to get us there faster, I don't think we're really in any big rush. My mom is, of course, a little bit older, so we are really this trip is going to be a little bit more laid back and not so rushed. I think it'll be good for me too, because it'll really make me appreciate everything more and just take everything in at a nice slower pace. I've estimated us getting to the resort at around 4, maybe 4:30 if we're landing. Then we have to, get our bags, get on the bus, that sort of thing. At the latest, I think we'll get there for 5. We don't have a park day planned for our arrival day because it's a lot, I feel, to go to like a park day on your arrival day. Even with the new deal that they have now where it's like you get entrance into a water park on the day of your arrival, I feel like that's kind of hard for people that are coming internationally. I'm from Canada, so the flight for me is about 3 hours. Even like anyone coming from the UK as well, that's a long travel day to like get off the plane, get to your resort, and then go to a water park. Like that just seems like a lot. So I don't know if that perk is that great for what they've done with that aspect, but it's just not for us. It might work for other people, but yeah, not for us. I've made a room request to have a room in the Magnolia Bend section. This is where we stayed last time. It is the mansion area rather than the Bayou section. I just like that theming a little bit better. So I'm really hoping that we get a room in that section. Once we get into the room and get settled, or maybe when I'm on the bus to the resort, or maybe even at the airport, I want to place an Instacart order. My mom has some dietary needs. She is gluten-free and dairy-free. Not completely dairy-free, but mostly gluten-free. So we want to make sure that we have some snacks for her just in case she's hungry and she can't necessarily find something to eat right away. And we also want to have breakfast in our room to save a little bit of money. So we're going to be ordering that as well. I will probably be sharing my Instacart order or grocery list at some point, either during maybe like my pack and prep with me video or at some point during the vlogs. For the evening, we do have plans to hop on the boat and take it to Disney Springs to have dinner at Raglan Road. I have not eaten here in so long, and I had a look at their menu and they do have some good gluten-free options for my mom, and we just love a good Irish pub. Irish pub food for me is just wonderful, and I love the fact that they do have some live entertainment. And then after dinner, if we have any energy left, we might just walk around Disney Springs for a little bit, maybe do a little bit of shopping. I love a good shop in Disney Springs on the arrival day. Now for our park days, and the way that I picked every park that we're going to go to on each day, I really looked at a lot of crowd calendars. Now I know a lot of these aren't very accurate anymore, or they can vary a lot, but I do like to use it as a benchmark just to kind of see what kind of crowds we're going to be expecting. And I looked at the crowd calendar for each park on each day for when we're there and kind of went based off that. So on our first full day there, so I guess day 2, we're going to be going to Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom has early entry this day at 7:30 a.m. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make it and get up that early to get there for that time, but we'll give it a try. We'll see how it goes. If not, it's not going to be a big deal because, again, we're going to have multi-pass. I just don't want to feel rushed or have to push ourselves if we don't need to and constantly be thinking like, oh, we have to get everything done. We have to finish everything and make sure we tick all the boxes and that. I really just want to be able to enjoy our time there. Animal Kingdom always seems to have a shorter park hours, though. The park itself is only open until 6 p.m. this day. While they don't have like a nighttime show, there is stuff that I want to make sure that we get done during the day. Now, my mom isn't the biggest thrill seeker, so I may end up going on some rides by myself that my mom might find a little bit more intense, which we're totally fine with. My mom is happy to go look in the shops while I'm off doing a ride. The must-dos that I have listed for this day in no particular order are Festival of the Lion King, because if you know me, you know that that is like my ultimate must-do, favorite thing in the entire world to do when I'm at Animal Kingdom. I would even see it twice if we could. If we have enough time, I would go see it twice. I love it that much. Animation experience, both me and my mom really enjoy drawing, and we love learning how to draw and everything to do with that. So we're definitely going to be checking this out too. Get a Starbucks mug. I am still on a mission to collect them all. I have the one from Magic Kingdom and Epcot. So I still need, of course, obviously Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. I also want to try a Night Blossom. This drink looks so good, and I always keep forgetting to get it every time that I've been in Animal Kingdom the last couple times, so I really want to make this a priority. And Mr. Kamal's fries. I've heard nothing but good things about those, and I always miss out on trying these too. They also have like a sweet version of it now, which I'm kind of intrigued by. It has like strawberries and like chocolate sauce on it, and like seasoned like cinnamon fries, which I would think is kind of interesting to try. We don't have any dining reservations this day, so it's going to be probably all quick service. Breakfast we're going to have in the room. Lunch we have planned. Probably we're going to go to Harambe Market. I've been seeing some really good reviews on their menu and the food that's on there recently, and it looks really good, so I'd like to give that a try. And then dinner, we're probably going to go back after, because the park closes at 6. So we may just go back to the resort, either have dinner there or go back to Disney Springs. I've put down either going to Deluxe Burger or Cooks of Dublin. I know it's very similar to Raglan Road, but my mom's a huge fish and chips fan. If she can have fish and chips, she's set. So we might try Cooks of Dublin as well, or just see how we're feeling. And then because it was kind of an early morning and it was right after a long travel day, we're just going to take it easy that night, maybe do a little bit more shopping at Disney Springs, and then head back to the resort for the night. Day 3 is going to be Epcot. So must-dos this day are Journey of Water. My mom has not done it yet. She hasn't seen it, so I really want her to see that. Get a picture with the Walt statue. I really want my mom to have a picture with that. I think it would just be so great and such a nice memory. Go on Frozen. My mom hasn't been on this either. It'd be a new experience for her. Soarin' as well is my mom's top favorite ride, so we're definitely going to be doing that. And of course, my favorite ride, Living with the Land. So those are the must-dos for that day. The park itself is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. with early entry half hour early at 8:30. So we'll see if we get there early. I'm going to try and book a virtual queue for Guardians for myself. I don't think this will be a ride that my mom will want to go on. I think it'll just be a little too intense for her. Again, she's not a big coaster fan, so it might just be me, which is totally fine. I'm not sure if I will pay for Lightning Lane for Guardians. I did like knowing when I'd be going on the ride when I went back in November. I paid for the Lightning Lane, but if we're already paying for multipass and then paying an extra cost for a Lightning Lane, it might just be a little bit too much. We're actually planning to go to Epcot twice on this trip, so this day is going to be focused on the front half of the park. We're not really going to be going to World Showcase too much, except to maybe ride Frozen. So hopefully we get all the rides done in and around that area, check out the shops, do a little bit of shopping, perusing around, just enjoying the atmosphere of Epcot. Again, on this day, we don't have any set dining reservations, but for lunch, we're probably going to go to Connections Eatery. For dinner, we'll probably have it back at Riverside at the Riverside Mill Food Court. We most likely won't spend all day at Epcot. I'm probably thinking we're going to have a mid-afternoon break, so we'll maybe just hang at the pool, hang in the room, explore the resort, just enjoy the atmosphere back there and just rest a little bit. Then in the evening, we might head back to Epcot to watch Luminous if we're not too tired. Day 3 is Magic Kingdom. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this day. Top priority, top must do is going to be ride Tiana's. I'm really hoping that we get a good multi-pass Lightning Lane for this ride. This is going to be top priority. I've been avoiding so many spoilers. I haven't watched any ride POVs or anything like that because I just really want to experience this firsthand for myself, and it'll just be so nice to do it with my mom as well. It'll be a first time for her too, so I'm just so excited to see what our reactions are going to be like. And then of course we're going to be going on Pirates and Haunted Mansion, just all the quintessential rides here. Sadly, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is going to be closed while we're there, which I'm kind of bummed about. We have one lunch reservation booked for this day, which is going to be at the Grand Floridian Cafe. They have brunch, which is really interesting, and I'm very excited to try this. After lunch, we will either go back to the resort to have a little chill, or we will go back to the park and stay there for the rest of the afternoon, continuing to ride all the rides and everything and seeing how it goes. I know Magic Kingdom can get busy and overwhelming very quickly. So this I find is a good park to take a mid-afternoon break from, and depending on how hot it is and everything. I don't think it'll be as hot as it was like when we went back in May. So hopefully we won't need to take rest from the heat that much. And then in the evening for dinner, probably going to have it at Columbia Harbor House and then watch, of course, Happily Ever After. I'm so excited for my mom to see this. I don't think she's seen this show either. So it is going to be a special moment for sure. After having 3 park days in a row, I've planned this next day as a rest day, just so we can have some time to recoup. As I've gotten older, I have learned that it's important to take a rest day. I used to be like love going to a park every day of the entire trip, and I just didn't want to miss out on anything, but you will hit a wall. Let me tell you, as you get older, like this was even like back in my 20s, I was like, yeah, I can totally do this, I'm fine. But then when I went back, and now that I've gotten into my 30s and I've gotten older, I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. So scheduling a rest day is very, very important to us now, and especially now that I'm going with my mom as well, I'm trying to keep her in mind. We do have breakfast planned at Topolino's. I am so excited to go back here because it's probably one of my favorite meals on Disney property. Once we're done breakfast, I want us to head on over to Fort Wilderness and go to Tri-Circle D Ranch to see the horses. I haven't seen the new stable area since it's been renovated years ago, and both me and my mom absolutely love horses. So I would just love to go and explore here. I also really want to go check out the store at Fort Wilderness because they have a lot of Chip and Dale merchandise that I feel like I'm missing out on. Lunch I've kind of left up in the air on this day because we may still be pretty full from breakfast from Topolino's, so we might grab a snack somewhere, might just leave it up to seeing how we're feeling on that particular day. Then in the afternoon, we may go off property and check out the Character Warehouse to see what they have. Might even try to go to a Target. I've always wanted to go to the Target that's close to Disney because they usually have a lot of Disney merchandise. I would just love to go to a Target too in general because Targets are great. And then in the evening, we are going to go back to Disney Springs and going to have dinner at the Boathouse. Love the boathouse. Their food here is fantastic, and I really want my mom to try it as well. I love the ambience. I love everything about this restaurant. After dinner, we're going to head back to Riverside for a little surprise. I don't know if my mom is going to be watching these videos, and I don't want to ruin the surprise, but it has to do with something that is offered at the Riverside Resort. We haven't done it before. Neither of us have done it before, but if you know what's offered at Riverside Resort, you may have an idea of what we will be doing. Then the next day, we are finally going to Hollywood Studios. I love Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios now is like, I get so excited for it because it is such like a full day park. It's not like it used to be where I felt like when there was like a lot of stuff under construction, like Star Wars Land and Toy Story Land, like everything like that was just getting built up, and I just felt like there wasn't a lot to do. But now everything that's open there, it is a full day park. Let me tell you, there's so much to do there, and my must-dos for this day are Slinky Dog Dash. Really hoping we get a multi-pass here. Rise of the Resistance. I love this ride. It is one of the top experiences for me and maybe my favorite ride at Hollywood Studios. Going to do Mickey's Runaway Railway as well. I know my mom is just going to absolutely love this ride. And then Muppet Vision 3D. Have to go here, have to see it. Disney has announced that it will be closing in June, so I really want to take in all the atmosphere of the Muppets area before it's gone for good. I am excited for the Monsters, Inc. stuff that's coming, but I just really want to take in all the Muppet vibes because it's like my childhood. It is a staple of my childhood, and it's going to be sad that it's gone. But the Muppets are going to live on at Rock and Roller Coaster. Like, I get that, but it's just not going to be the same. For lunch, we might give Woody's Lunchbox a try. Something light, not too heavy, and I'm a big fan of like grilled cheeses and stuff, so this will be kind of something plain and simple for a nice lunch to try. And then dinner, we're in between two options. So we're either going to do ABC Commissary, or I've got us a reservation for a Fantasmic dining package because I really would love to have really good seats for Fantasmic. This is our only day that we're going to be going to Hollywood Studios, and I really don't want us to... I know like Fantasmic has really good seats no matter where you sit. Sometimes you might be on like the far ends, which I don't really like. Like I kind of want to be more close to the middle, but I thought the price for the Sci-Fi Dine-In Fantasmic package was actually pretty reasonable. I could only get a reservation that was pretty early for dinner. It's like just before 5 p.m. So it's going to be a pretty early dinner. Fantasmic that night is at 9:30, and as of right now, there's only one showing. So that's another reason why I got the package, just to make sure that we get in and get a good seat. For our second last day of the trip, we are going to be going back to Epcot. And once we go back to Epcot, the Flower and Garden Festival will be going on. It'll be interesting to see the transition going from when we went on our first visit to the second time we go, when they have all the stuff out for Flower and Garden Festival. I actually really love this festival. It should be really nice to see all the topiaries that they have out and the little extra activities that they got going on for Flower and Garden Festival. They'll have new merchandise as well, which I want to check out. Maybe get some pins, maybe check out the food booths and that sort of thing. Might be a little hard for my mom maybe to find some stuff, but we're still going to check them out because there'll be lots of stuff that I want to try too. So since we will have done the front half of the park on our first visit, the second visit we're going to focus on World Showcase, and then this will be our opportunity to probably go on Remy's, redo any other rides that we didn't get to on our first visit, and then just enjoy the Flower and Garden Festival. Dinner this night, I have got us a reservation at Ale and Compass. Again, another new one for us. We've never tried. The menu looks really good as well, so I'm very excited to try it. Either in the evening or maybe in the afternoon, we'll take another midday break, go back to the resort. I always like to get organized, pack up some of our stuff, get our suitcases organized, because on our last day, we are going to be going to Magic Kingdom, but we will be keeping our luggage with Bell Services since it's our checkout day and we're not leaving right away. We have a little bit later afternoon flight. So we're going to be, again, like I said, leaving our luggage with Bell Services, going back to Magic Kingdom for the morning. I'm hoping we get there pretty early. I don't know if we will do multi-pass this day. We might just see what we can get on while we're there, or maybe just enjoy the atmosphere, soak it all up as much as possible before we have to leave. Then once we need to leave for the airport, we'll have to go back to Riverside, pick up our luggage, and then we're going to take an Uber back to the airport. I didn't book Mears for the way back to the airport on this day because I felt like their pickup times were going to be too early, and I would rather just squeeze in as much time as I possibly can, and we'll just pay for an Uber back to the airport. It's no big deal. It's probably not going to be that much more expensive than it would be to take the Mears bus. So that is how our Disney trip is shaping up. So I hope you're excited for all the Disney content that's going to be coming your way. I'm going to be doing another What's in My Disney Park Bag video updated for the winter, and then I'm also going to be doing, of course, the pack and prep with me video. If there's something in particular that you'd like to see on this trip, make sure you leave me a comment down below, or if you have any questions about multipass or planning a Disney trip in general, leave me a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up as it really does help out the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye everyone!